Welcome to the GMG Business Blueprint, where real people build real businesses, starting simple and scaling smart. I'm Audrey Bell-Kearney, and 3 times a week, I break down practical business blueprints you can actually use without hype, jargon, or tech overwhelm. If you're ready to turn ideas into income and build something real, you're in the right place. Good morning, good morning, good morning, all my Gwinnetians out there in Gwinnett land and all of my friends around the world. It's a pretty nice day here in Gwinnett County, 35 degrees, going up to a high of 59, so that's pretty. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today is Friday. It is the weekend officially here. Yes, it is. I know a lot of people are happy. So while you're home this weekend, let's talk about what business you can be scoping out. So, my daughter has a cute little dog. It's a little, not a Yorkie. What did she call it? What is, no, she's not a Pomeranian. She is a Shih Tzu. Shih Tzu. She's the cutest little thing ever. Her name is Nova. And my daughter buys her all kinds of clothes and bows. She take her to get her groom. It's crazy. They're like little family members. And she's the cutest little thing. So I was thinking about, and I said to my daughter, you should start, you buy the dog all kind of clothes. Like they took Christmas pictures and the dog had on a dress to match to everybody else. They had on black and red. The dog had on black and red. So the dog is in the picture. It's amazing. It's so cute, y'all. But what I realized is that is a big industry. That is a big industry and it's a great opportunity for somebody who loves pets and who loves fashion. So pet fashion, pet clothing is a big industry. So today the blueprint is about how to start your own pet clothing business, right? 7 steps. We're gonna go through a 7-day launch plan, but there's a full article on the Gwinnett Good Morning Gwinnett website, so you can see everything broken down. But I'm gonna walk you through the 7-day launch. So first of all, the industry itself is worth almost $7 billion. By 2033, it's expected to grow to $10 billion. 10 billion with a B. So the industry is huge. And so you got great opportunities there. You just have to find your niche. Now, I will tell you that there are probably a lot of pet. Oh my goodness. I don't know what that was popped up. In there. I don't know what that was. Something on my phone popped on. So you're gonna probably have a lot of competition. But you need to find your niche, like your specific area. One of the ways to do that is to pick the size dog you want to sell to, right? Like my daughter has a Shih Tzu, and she's a cute little tiny little thing. Now I'm sure that there are a lot of people who's in that part of the business because everybody loves for their little dog to look so cute. The little Chihuahuas. She used to have a Chihuahua Poodle mix. Her name was Diamond. That was my baby. Um, and she used to do the same thing, buy clothes, but she was tiny. So the tiny dogs, I'm sure there's a lot of competition. Now you have to figure out how to set yourself apart from that as well. And you can go straight local. You can be the number one local pet small dog clothing company in your area. Now guess what? You probably think, well, how am I going to make money from that? Well, because there are probably a lot of people in your local area that has pets that are small that would love to get their pets some clothing. And if you're a small business, you can go out and make sure that they know that you're there, right? And you can sell like the accessories that go with the clothing. Like I seen this dog had on a choker, like a diamond choker. I was like, that is too cute. So let's talk about this 7-day launch. First, you got to choose your niche, right? Do you want to do small dogs? Do you want to just sell small dog hoodies? Do you want to sell small dogs ballerina dresses with the ruffles on it? Because I see a lot of little dogs have on that. Do you want to sell small dogs? And I'm saying small dogs. You could do large dogs. I don't think I've ever seen a big dog with clothes on. Outside of something like a jacket, I think I've seen a big dog with a jacket on, or like a vest, like a harness or something. But I've never seen them with a hoodie. Really, I've never seen them with. I don't recall bulldogs, the ones that look like little men. Yeah, I see them with clothes on. But the big dogs like German Shepherds and Dobermans and Collies and things like that, I have never. I don't think I've ever seen them with clothes on. Now, that being said, that could be that could be a niche for you because when I see dog clothes, it's always a cute little tiny little dogs, right? I don't think I've seen a big dog with a sweater on. I just don't, and maybe I miss it, but I see way, 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 way more small dogs with dresses and shirts and hoodies. So pick your niche. Look into those niches because I don't see it. You may have an opportunity there because and then you want to make sure that when you look into the niche, because I can't imagine a collie. because a collie has so much, and it's so pretty. It has so much hair on them, though, right? So you're gonna put a sweater over the top of the hair. Now you could find another cute little something that'll go, like you can, if you're gonna go all out and be a designer. Like I could see a collie having on like a jeweled, like a bejeweled, like, and not like a whole thing, maybe like a bejeweled vest kind of thingy. Like it's in my mind where I can see like the jewels. It's like a string of jewels that go around the arms and straight down the back. I can see that because that's pretty. And it's not like a jacket; it's like jewelry. So that's, I'm just giving somebody $1 million idea, and it's just for collies because collies have so much hair. I don't know if the owner wants to buy them a sweater or a jacket or a hoodie, but they may buy them a pretty piece of jewelry, to put on their backs and around their arm, their the shoulder blades and stuff like that. Because that's what I'm looking at when I think about that. That's what I see for a collie. I feel like that dresses up a collie because they're so pretty. So once you have decided on what the business niche is going to be, now you have to decide on what the name is going to be. What name are you going to give it? Do a really good name search on this, and I talked about this I think on Wednesday. You want to make sure that it's a name that nobody has, because I was talking about a story that I saw over the weekend where there was a furniture store, and the man's wife went ballistic and said that people in Minneapolis should be shot or killed or something crazy. She just went just nuts. Now, why would you say that about anybody? She said it out, and she put it on TikTok or Instagram somewhere. She put it, but you can't put nothing on social media. They're gonna find you. Well, somebody found it, and they owned a furniture company. And when they did that, of course, the furniture company just got bombarded with low rating reviews, bad comments, just a lot of stuff. The problem was there was another company, furniture company, in a different state with the same name. And because they had the same name, people thought it was that man's company. So he had to keep going back and forth saying, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. But the damage was kind of done. So what I'm saying is when you think about your name, try to make, when I think about names, I try to put two things together that don't make any sense. Like I just making up words. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to have somebody else's name. When you think about Google and Yahoo and Amazon, like one word names, nobody has them. Well, they got brand recognition now and they own the trademarks, but you're just starting out. So think about a name, make up a name. Like I just started a new project yesterday, and I just made up a name, but it fits what I'm doing. But I was like, I want something, and even if it's someone is using it, if they're not using it, you don't see a trademark on it, maybe, but you want to be very careful. You want to make sure that it matches, like, because if you do like a dot business and they have the dot com, and their dot com is something totally whack, and people confuse your dot com, your dot biz with their dot com, that could be a destroyer for your business. So think about the name before you register your name. Once you figure out the name, then you want to register the business with your Secretary of State or whoever you register. You may do a local registration. Here for LLC, we go to the department, the Secretary of State to register the business, and then they send us back our certificate in about 2 weeks. Then you want to, make sure that you have your blueprint, right? Like what products. Don't try to include a whole catalog of products. Now, if you're going to produce the products yourself, like if you're going to sew them, because some people are very talented, they can sew. You may want to think about that because that's going to be really labor intensive. Now, if you love sewing, but you want to mass produce, what you're going to do is you're going to sow the sample. You're going to find a manufacturer to manufacture. But you need to have this laid out before you do anything else. Because if you start out saying, I'm just going to make everything customized, you're not going to be able to scale that efficiently. You can make some money, but you won't be able to scale it. Now, customized and personalized stuff, they normally make, you could charge premium for those. However, you can't scale. So let's say, for instance, you say, I'm gonna make all the dog clothes, and they're going to be personalized or customized or whatever the case may be. You can charge more money because it's a one of a kind, but you got to go out and find another customer to pay you again for that same type of thing. And if that's fine with you, then that's fine with you. But make sure before you go and start this whole process, if you know you're going to make hoodies for small dogs and they're going to be custom and all that kind of stuff, understand like your scaling ability is going to be limited. because it's going to be too small of a it's going to be too much manpower that's going to be required, and you're only one person. And let me tell you something, I took sewing classes, and then my cousin taught me how to sew. I hate sewing. I hate cutting. I hate all of that. Like my cousin loved it. She is great at it. But me, oh my God, I was like, oh my. So let me say this. I didn't hate sewing. I hate cutting. Like the pin the pattern down and oh my God, to cut it out. And so I'm dating myself. So when I was sewing, you had tracer chalk that you had to trace the lines and then cut on the. Oh my God, it was too much. I didn't like that. So you got to look at that too. Look at what part of the business you don't like so that you don't overwhelm yourself, because what happens is when we get overwhelmed, nothing happens. I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it real. When you're overwhelmed with what you're doing, nothing happens. So if you start this business, you say, I'm going to make all the clothes, but you really hate cutting out patterns and cutting out pieces, that's a red flag right there. Now, if you want to make the one piece and send it to a manufacturer, and then they can mass produce it for you, or they can even do a limited edition for you. You just make the first initial piece. But think about that for a second. And I would say, roll out your fashion like the fashion people roll out regular fashion by the season. It is February right now, and I guarantee you all spring, if not summer stuff is already out. We're still in winter, but the spring and summer fashion is probably already out. I will follow that model if I'm thinking about mass producing. If you're just trying to make like a few dollars on the side, that's something totally different. You can do it. You can cut and sew and all that stuff. But if you're trying to make some money where you can scale, you want to manufacture. And even if you say, I don't want to sell thousands and thousands, I just want this to be a limited edition style of, and I'll give you a prime example. Think about Rolex for a minute, right? First of all, Rolex is very expensive, but it's very expensive because they're mostly limited edition buys. Like you can get like 20 million of those. You can probably get a few thousand, and that's why everybody, when you see the Rolex, it's like, oh my God. They probably do have one that's mass produced that doesn't cost as much. Anything that's mass produced doesn't cost as much. When you make one of a kind something or a limited edition something, you can charge more. When I was running my doll company, it was a collectible company, and so we had a limited edition. So the dolls, we could sell a doll for 59, 69, 79, even $99. But if we were trying to sell it like on the same level as a Barbie, we couldn't sell it past $14. But so we decided to do collectibles. So think about that, all right? All right. Now where are you gonna sell it at? Where are you going to sell it? Are you going to sell it on your own website? Let's talk about that for a second. I'm a big proponent of selling stuff on your own website because you own your property. When you're just starting out, that may not be the right thing to do, because you have unless you have a budget for marketing to drive traffic to the website, or you got a great marketing campaign put together to drive traffic to your website, you're going to struggle. If you don't understand marketing and how to get people to that website, your site is going to struggle. So even though I'm a big proponent of owning your own website, I'm going to tell you to picture to start on either Etsy or Shopify. And preferably, I like Shopify. Etsy is more like when you got one. If you're gonna be that person that make the clothes and then just sell it, you're not trying to mass produce. Etsy is probably perfect for that. Perfect. Shopify is more of a I'm gonna mass produce and this is gonna be a brand and all of that kind of stuff. And then I will still say have your own website, but just know that when you put it on like a Shopify, they have plans to help you grow. Like with Shopify, you can connect your store to Amazon, to Walmart, um, to I think to Etsy. Because when I was on Shopify, I think I had and I was doing rugs. I had my store connected to Amazon, Walmart. It was a whole bunch. It was like 14 different stores. So but I had to pay. Let me just say that I had to pay for each one of those little store plugins. It wasn't a lot, but I did have to pay. But here's the thing: I didn't know anything about selling rugs. I just knew that I wanted to sell them, and I thought they were so nice, and I got sales. I mean, just people found it, and I freaked out. I freaked out, y'all, because they bought the rugs during the pandemic. The rugs were coming from Turkey, and of course, nothing was moving because everything was shut down. And people were asking me, "Where are my rugs?" And I'm thinking, "What you mean?" Well, they were stuck in customs in Turkey, and that freaked me out because I was like, "Oh my God, I cannot let this happen because." This is going to stress me out worrying about what people products are. So that's another thing to think about. That business could have been really lucrative for me. But it was so stressing during the pandemic when people had paid their money and there was nothing I could do. My hands were tied because my rugs were stuck in Turkey in customs because the world had shut down because of the pandemic. People were understanding though, and so they understood that this is what's happening because I did great customer service, but when I tell you that stressed me out, it stressed me out. So think about that. Think about, you got to think about all the, I like I like e-commerce, right? But I think for me, I like I don't want people to talk to me, which is crazy. Like I don't want to be involved in customer service, which is why I have another e-commerce store where if something goes wrong with your order, you don't call me. I'm just a marketer of the product. You call a company that makes the product. You don't call me because that stresses me out. So you have to think about all of that stuff. Who's going to handle the customer service for you? When people have complaints, concerns, or questions, who is that you? Are you going to create an AI agent for that? Are you going to hire somebody? You got to think about all these things. I like e-commerce, but I don't like the one where I have to be the one or my team has to be the one you got to call because what's going to happen is if the team can't answer the question, they got to come and ask me. That stresses me out. So instead of me doing that, I joined a company called Vital Health, and it's a supplement company, which I love. But guess what happens? People go to my little website, it says Audrey, I'm an affiliate, and they buy something. And when they buy something, they send the money to the company. They don't send it to me. And when they got a question about the product, they call the company. I just make my little referral. I like it that way. And guess what? The margins are pretty good for me not having to ship anything, making margins of 33%. I ain't mad at that. I can make 33% on products that I don't have to make or ship or answer customer service for. Absolutely love it. So you got to think about that part too. All right. You don't want to create you don't want to create a big fashion line. Create about 5 to 10 items so people can see them. And you might even want to think about, taking pre-orders. That's why your samples are important. Now, if you want to mass produce, you want to take your samples. I would say make two of each. You want to always keep one. Make two of each. You keep a sample set for yourself so you can use it for promotional purposes, and you send a sample to your manufacturer. Now, with everything that's going on with tariffs and all that kind of stuff, I don't know what's a good manufacturing partner at this point because the United States is messing up all our partnerships. I manufacture my dolls in China. I sent them the blueprints for what we wanted to do. We sent images of what their face should look like. We sent samples of the clothing. We had nothing but drawings. We didn't have a product. We had drawings of the clothing because I can't sew, I can't draw. So we got somebody to draw some fashion. We got somebody to draw and paint some faces and design some jewelry. And then we sent all that paper to China. So this is back, we were dating ourselves. We sent the paper in the mail to China, to our manufacturer, and they took that paper and they turned it into a doll with clothes and accessories on it. So you have to think about if you're going to mass produce, who's going to do it for you. It would be ideal to do it in the States, but I will tell you, if you find somebody to do your mass production of your clothing in the States, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. However, if you're launching a premium line, you build that into the cost, right? If you know that your fashion is limited edition pieces, you're only gonna put out 100 of this one, 100 of that one, and only 100 customers can buy it. Then you put that into the pricing. So now if it's gonna cost you $25 a for the piece, right, and you're gonna charge $75, people pay that all day long. You done took care of your the cost of goods, and now you got your margin, and that's a pretty good margin on that. So think about that part too. I know that outside of the United States has always been a better way to manufacture products because it's cheaper. Right now, we're just going through so much. We don't even know if the boat is gonna make it over. I don't know. It's just not. It's just crazy. So think about that. Doing clothing, you may want to go to Maker's Row. Maker's Row, they make stuff over there, clothing. I want to say this in New York. And if you got a design, then you can probably go there and get some help with that. And they may even know some manufacturers that are stateside, so that you don't have to do overseas manufacturing. It would be ideal because the price is cheaper. However, but since we're trying to, and I'm using air quotes, bring manufacturing back to the United States, this may be an opportunity for you to join that movement that's not happening for real. I'm just saying. I'm being sarcastic, but not sarcastic. All right, so check that out. Do 5 to 10 pieces, create some posts for it. Now, the one thing I can tell you right now about photos is that we have so many AI softwares out there that'll create product demos for you and product photos that are just beautiful. I mean, to the point where you can take the photo of the piece and put it on a dog, an AI dog, and the dog is running around. You can do a photo shoot. It's just amazing. So you can do all that on your own without spending a whole lot of money. All right, you want to post products, you want to reach out to pet owners. This is going to be the most important thing of all. Now, the one thing I like about Etsy is that Etsy, if your everything is optimized correctly, it will help you push your products out more. Because that's what they do. It's like a search engine. It's like a search engine. So that's why I like Etsy. A lot of people don't like Etsy because they say they take too many fees. But when you're just starting out, and you don't know how to market, and you don't have a big marketing budget, Etsy may be the place to go. If you want a more uh store that it's going to be mass production and you're going to build a brand, Shopify is the way to go. And at some point, once you get your clientele up and you become known, then you can really activate your website. You need a website right now along with your Shopify site, but you're going to really activate it once you get your brand out there and people get to know who you are. All right. Now, the next thing is once you fill your first orders, and you may just want to go around locally. You may want to go and just go to like local festivals and things like that. People walk their dogs at the festivals. If you got a table full of beautiful dog clothes and accessories, chances are they're gonna buy something. I take my granddaughter to festivals all summer long, and she just like to eat a bunch of junk. Right? And guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy her a bunch of junk, and I'm gonna take it back to her mother so she can bounce off the walls with her. So go to festivals and display your stuff, and you may sell some stuff, especially if you're going to do, one of a kind stuff. You're going to do, one piece at a time, things like that. You could probably sell out at a festival easily. But once you do that, you want to get testimonials. And what you want to do is make sure that your Google profile is set up properly so that your testimonials are there and people can say why they love the product and all that good stuff. That's good for business because now it's helping you grow and you become known, especially in your local area, as this person that make these really cute, this really cute jewelry, dog clothes jewelry for collies. You know what I'm saying? So very, very good. So those are your 7 steps. Let me give you a quick recap. Day one action step: choose a niche and a name. That's first. Then you want to register the business. So check out business names. Make sure nobody's using the name. Register your business. It's going to take about 2 weeks to get your certificate back. Then you want to think about your pricing and your products and your pricing. What are you going to charge? Look at the market. See what it's bearing right now. Um, it may not be bearing a $75 piece, but then again, it may. So you want to do your research on that. You want to set up your shop. You want to set it up either on Etsy or Shopify, unless you got the budget to push traffic to your own website. I will say set up a website anyway, your personal site, even if it's just a web page or landing page, so you have a presence under your own page. So if you need to move stuff real quickly, you can easily go and just move it to that page. You don't want to create 25 samples. You want to create 5 to 10 sample pieces and take photos of them. There are a lot of great tools out there that will allow you to take photos of those pieces and put it on your Instagram and your TikTok and things like that. Now, mind you, I heard TikTok is a beast for driving sales. People love their pets. So I'm sure it's a lot of pet lovers over on TikTok and probably Instagram. So just know now when them orders start to come in, you need to be able to fulfill them. You don't want to be taking orders and taking people money, and you can't fulfill the orders. That's the death of your business right away. Yes, it's gonna kill it because sometimes you can grow too fast. Sometimes you can really you're excited, you got the first sale, but you gotta sew all of that by yourself. So and then here's the thing: if you try to hire somebody, the quality is probably not gonna be like yours. That's gonna become a problem. So think real hard about that. How you gonna set up shop? All right. You're gonna post your products. You're gonna DM and do some outreach to pet owners. You may even think about figuring out how to get into a local pet store. Now check this out. Let's say for instance you make products and all of the products are organic. Like the fabric is organic. You probably can go like to a Whole Food or a Sprouts or something like that and say, listen, all my pet products, all my pet clothing is organic. I want to know how I can partner with you. They may even have a local vendor program. Like they may have one which will allow you as a local vendor to display your stuff and sell your stuff out of that store. And so right on the aisle where there's dog food, pet supplies, you may be able to put a little, a little something there. And you get, listen, nothing beats a failure but a try. And if you ask and they say no, oh well, so what? At least you tried. All right. Check that out, because if your clothes is made from organic fabrics or whatever, that may be a good partner for you. And if it does well in one store, they may put it in other stores. All right. And then go to pet stores, like, I don't know, the pet grooming stores. That's a good place. Um People who have local pet businesses, like that's what they do personal, like pet mobile clean mobile pet care places, that could be a partner for you. Like they're out there, taking care of the dogs and grooming the dogs. That may be a great partner for you. Think about who could be your partner. And then take your first orders and make sure to get testimonials. All right. There's a whole business blueprint over on Good Morning Gwinnett for today's episode. So go to goodmorninggwinnett.com to check out that episode. Check out that blueprint. It's a really good one. It's detailed. It talks about how much money, what you can use the money on, market, legal things that you may not have thought about but need to consider. It's all on the business blueprint. So go to goodmorninggwinnett.com. You'll see the blueprint on the front page on the upper right hand corner. Click that and it'll walk you through the process. All right. So that's all I got for you today. You could have been anywhere in the world. Spent the last 26 minutes with me, and I love and appreciate you for that. I'll be back on Monday with another blueprint, so be sure to stay around. If you miss any episodes of the show, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can subscribe to wherever you get podcasts, whether it's on iHeart, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube Music. I'm there. I am on Alexa. Hey, Good Morning Gwinnett is there. Subscribe to the show on Spreaker.com. Go and subscribe to the show. And do me a favor, if you really enjoyed this episode and it has helped you, in the link, there's a description that says support the show. It's only $5.99 a month. I will appreciate that, and I'll keep it going. I will keep it going. And if you got comments, leave me some comments. You got questions, leave me some questions. You can reach me, Audrey, at goodmorninggwinnett.com with your questions, and I will answer them on air. All right? All right. I got to go, but I want you guys to have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And until next time, my friends, until next time, make it a great day. Bye, everybody. That's today's business blueprint. If you want deeper guidance, marketing, AI, and scaling strategies, you'll find them inside the Blueprint Room, our coaching community for people building real businesses. Go to theblueprintroom.space to become a free member. You can explore today's blueprint and join us at theblueprintpress.today. Until next time, start simple, scale smart.